beautiful, beautiful collective. Hey, y'all. Happy Sunday. I'm so glad that you guys are here. I thank you so much for being here. Let's get into this reading. Now, today is going to be a little different. We're going to go ahead and just do one big old collective reading for whoever this resonates with. So, no sun, moon, rising today. We're just going to see what channeled messages we can get for whoever comes across this video. And whoever comes across this video, may this resonate in the most highest and loving vibration. I pray over this collective and also pray for the protection of this collective and over this reading, not allowing any trickster, maleficent spirits to come into this reading. Only our benevolent spirit guides are welcome in this space. So, yeah, how are you guys doing? I'm gonna get myself, together. Let me know how you guys are doing in the comments. I hope this week is going well for you guys, and I hope that you guys are finding some sort of balance. Oh, excuse me. Within and without. We're just gonna get ourselves calibrated. Hold on to me, 'cause I'm a little unsteady, Hold on to me, 'cause I'm a little unsteady, That song was just in my hearing, so it may be a part of this message. Maybe you guys are feeling that unsteadiness, feeling that imbalance, feeling as though things just are ripping and running for you guys. But let's see what kind of guidance we can get today. We got the Queen of Swords, Ace of Pentacles reversed, and the Ten of Wands in reversed. So it looks like you guys are coming into a space, into a period of finally being able to see and discern what is for you and what is not. There may have been some offers that came your way, or even some propositions that came along in your path, and you guys are finally seeing that not everything that comes your way is your burden to carry. Not everything that comes into your path is meant for you to take care of. There's this energy of finally being able to set the boundaries that are necessary and seeing where you don't necessarily have to just take on this weight. You're finally realizing you don't have to hold the weight of so many things. You're finally realizing that not everything is for you. Not everything that comes across your path is going to be for you. This Queen of Swords is really prominent here because the way that she is just looking at the things that may have went wrong, but still she is standing strong, and she is being able to discern and being able to find that clarity within to know, no, this is not for me. This is not my burden to carry. You're releasing these restrictions around yourself of that people-pleasing mentality of thinking that you have to take on everything that is presented to you. It may have even stopped your flow, stopped your work. It may have even finally realizing that if something is in your path that is not allowing you to focus on yourself, then it is not for you. This is knowing that anything that is actually for you is not going to take away from your life, but it's going to add some type of value. It's going to help you prosper. The things that are for you are not going to take you away from your alignment. That's how you know. That's the discerning point that you guys are finally learning, that the things that are truly and absolutely meant for you are going to propel you into where you want to be, not take away from where you are. So if something came along and all of a sudden you realize you're falling off your routines, and you realize that you're falling off of the things that you know were something that was actually good for you, then that's a really big indicator that this thing is not for you, and that's okay. And that's okay. In this life that we live, it's so important to realize and to be able to have that reaction time to be like, you know, this is not working for me. This is not working for me. Realize your individuality in a situation. Just because it worked for someone else, just because your friend it may have worked for them, and maybe you were very inspired because of you're seeing the successes that they were having because of what they were doing, but that doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. You have to realize that you as an individual, you're on your own path. You are on your own journey. This is something that is very personal to you. So it's being able to find the things that actually do work for you, and being able to discern, like, yes, this is working for me because this is helping me stay in alignment with myself. This is helping me build the life that I want to live. This is not something that is hindering me. Like, it's, for example, it's kind of like when you come into a partnership or you come into a relationship, and it's like you really are just so excited about being here because it's something that you probably really wanted. May it be a job, a person, a place, or something. You really wanted it. And it was something that made you feel something. It made you feel some type of emotions, and it made you feel some type of spark. And as you progress, you start to realize that ever since that thing came into your life, you haven't really been paying attention to yourself. You really haven't been taking care of yourself and staying committed to yourself. You're finding yourself lying to yourself more often, not being committed to your own purpose and being committed to your own path, because now you are in a place where you're trying to serve something outside of you and trying to serve something that really has nothing to do with you, and it doesn't serve you to stay in a place that is not helping you be in alignment for this collective. It's a message of discernment. This collective's discernment is being heightened by Spirit will give you things. Spirit will give you exactly what you want. It will give you exactly what you want. But if you yourself are not in alignment with yourself, the thing that it gives you is going to be something that's not tangible. It's not something fulfilling. It's not something that can actually reap any type of benefit. So it's like Spirit will give you the thing that you want, but is it really what you need? Is it really the thing that is going to help you get to that next level? And people are like, some people may call it opportunist for you to not take these opportunities. But in reality, you are here to explore as many opportunities as possible. But just because an opportunity is presented to you, and maybe at first you thought it was something that was for you, but honestly, it was just a moment for you to be more in tune with your discernment. You got to learn what you don't like in order to learn what you do like. That's really what life is about. There's going to be people that come into your path that are like, oh, you need to avoid this or do things this way because this is what worked for me, and now I'm trying to give you the answer. But in reality, you have to have your own experiences. You have to go through your excuse me, confirmation burp. You have to go through your own experiences so you can learn, so that your nervous system can learn. Some people are not the type of people who learn from other people's mistakes, but they are the type of people who learn firsthand, that learn hands-on by making the mistake themselves. And this is really what this is about. When you make those mistakes and when you go through those trials and tribulations, they're there so that you can learn about yourself, so that you can learn about the growth that you're wishing for and hoping for and you're manifesting. Some letters that may resonate with this collective are Z, K, L, A, or J. So that may be a letter in your name. It may be a letter in the persons that you're dealing with or the situations that you're dealing with. They could resonate in that aspect. And it says not your energy. Exactly. Sometimes things will come into your energy force, and if you are truly a very empathetic soul and you are able to take on the energy of other people, sometimes you are a sensitive soul. Yes, you feel more than yourself. The energies around you can influence and kind of knock you off balance. So this is having that mentality of, if you need to do your protection spell work, it will be very beneficial at this time, so that your energy is protected and that your discernment is protected, and that your auric field is protected from things that are not serving you. Journaling is going to be very beneficial at this time because it's going to give you the space to reflect. It's going to give you a visual and place to see your own progress in this journey that you're currently on and in this space. Because in my experience, whenever I've journaled, I have like about 5 journals at this point. I love journaling. Journaling is something that I do religiously whenever I need to. But when I first started journaling, it was a space where I could look back and see all the spaces that I've grown. I could see the shift in my mindset. I could see the shift in my perspective. When I started journaling, I was using it really as a way to just get the thoughts out of my head and onto a piece of paper. Whether I was feeling sad or mad or frustrated, it was my space to reflect. And then as I grew and as I was able to look back at the things that I used to wrote, that was my growth. I was able to see the ways in which that I was either hindering myself by my own mindset, or the ways that I had grown and the ways that I was truly trying to encourage myself and support myself through whatever was happening. When you journal, it is like being able to have your own best friend and being able to kind of keep yourself accountable. It's that space to see where your accountability lays, where you're being too hard on yourself, maybe where you're being too soft on yourself. That is a really good space to help you kind of be more aware of yourself and be aware of emotions that maybe are not even yours. You could be journaling and then you see after you've journaled, you feel light because maybe there was energy within you that just wasn't yours and you just needed to get it out. Journaling is definitely, I always recommend journaling because It definitely helps. And if you're not someone who likes to physically write things, making audio journaling sessions is also a very good way. If you're more audible or if you're more visual, creating videos of yourself, talking to yourself, and just giving yourself the space to see yourself. This collective needs to be more open to themselves and more open to what they have to express, because at the end of the day, that is the most important thing here. You got to be more comfortable with the changes that are happening, and the one way you can be more comfortable is by just keeping that documentation of your journey. I feel like a lot of reasons why when you go on YouTube and you see these vloggers, for example, it's like when you start putting yourself out there, it's such an interesting experience, because now it's like you can see your growth. When like, for example, the YouTubers that I would watch, seeing them from when they first started their YouTube channel to now, it's like they have this whole documentation of their life and of their journey, the parts of themselves that they were willing to share. Now it's like people can see the growth in itself. You're not going to be able to see the growth if you're not tracking yourself, if you're not holding some type of system to keep you accountable. Because then when you get to where you are, you're not going to realize all the ways in which you've grown. So keeping that documentation of your journey, of the things that have went wrong, of the situations that went wrong, is going to help you, propel you into the space where you're finally realizing the things that are right for you. You're finally realizing the things that are meant for you. Let's get some shadow cards here. Seeing how we can it says Earth of Shadow, Heavy Matters. Ooh. And then we got Shadow of Celestial, Us versus Them. Let's get one more. Okay, we got two more. That's fine. Deeper Self. This card, whenever it comes out, it is always a call for reflection, introspection, and a call to do those deeper dives within yourself, so that you can see the parts of yourself that you're uncomfortable with, so that you can see the sides of yourself that are just void, that you haven't expressed. Not every bad thing that you have to express is inherently bad. The duality within humanness is being able to see the light, but also to see the dark. There was this quote that is coming to me that someone said that the sun can illuminate things, but so does the moon. The sun can illuminate things, but so does the moon. Your shadow is also able to illuminate things about you that you are not comfortable with. It's time to get comfortable with those things that you're so afraid of expressing. Let's get into these cards. We got Earth of Shadow was the first one that came up, so let's go ahead and do that one first. That's what it looks like. Like you guys to see what I'm seeing, because these cards are beautiful. And that imagery, ooh. All right, it says, as the earth energies fall into denial, the burden of being becomes an obsession. Burdens, struggle, and being weighed down by the minds take on things. This card indicates a pattern of perspectives that compound the natural efforts of living until they become an ongoing inner crisis of self-abuse. Also could be a cycle. So let's keep that in mind. With such inner talk, each step gets heavier, which then justifies the compounding perspective that caused it. When I habitually bemoan my struggles, there is a feeling of being real. that these burdens bring me a tragic specialness that I am proclaiming myself to have. Of course, my life would be far better if I would just put the inner burden down. But then, who would I be and how would I feel special? What burdens have I taken on that are not mine? This is beautiful because so often people feel the need to stay stuck in their sadness and stay stuck in a mindset of victim when that does not have to be your story. You have the power to change your story. Just because bad things have happened to you does not mean you have to identify with those things. You have the power to shift that perspective and to learn from it. And this is why that journaling is coming in, because Spirit wants you to be more aware of the things that you're holding on to. Whatever happened in the past, it happened, but it is in the past. It is no longer in existence, but in your mind. The only way the past lives is if you keep it alive in your mind. You don't have to hold on to your struggles. Just because, say that maybe you had a situation, and this is just for example purposes, where you had a friend, and that friend ended up being someone who you went through a lot of trials and tribulations with, being their friend. Maybe you were stuck in a cycle where this friend was not good for you, was not worthy of being around you, but you were there and it happened. Instead of seeing that as, oh, I had such a bad time, like I can't make friends because this happened, this is why I can't make friends, this is why I never have good relationships. No. That was a time for you to learn what was for you and what was not for you. Just because that happened does not mean that has to be your story. You get to change your story. You get to change the perspective to, yeah, that happened and it was sucky and I didn't like it. But I know that there are people out there who will resonate with the new story, who will resonate with better qualities that I am displaying. I know that there will be friends out there who will actually care for me better than I have been cared for in the past. It's there to teach you what you need. But if you are not open or willing to learn the lesson, if you're not open or willing to do the inner work of why it happened in the first place, you're going to go through that karmic cycle again. You're going to repeat the cycle if you do not learn from your past mistakes. Your mistakes are there for you to learn. All of the most successful people learned from their mistakes and moved on and chose growth. You have to choose growth this time. You have to choose growth this time. You have to choose a better path for yourself. And not stay in a victim mindset of, woe is me, this happened to me. Like, okay, but now what? What are you going to do about it? And this is tapping into that more masculine energy of what are you going to do about it? That feminine energy is there for you to process your emotions and be more emotionally intelligent with yourself. But your masculine side is like, okay, but what are we going to do about this? There is no space for us to stay here. You have goals and ambitions, and the only way that you're going to be able to get there is if you leave that old story behind, because it is no longer serving you. Yeah, it served you at one point when you were down and out, but you're growing. You are growing. You are elevating, and it's time to take different steps. If the way that you acted in the past didn't work for you, what makes you think it's going to work now? You got to be able to change your perspective so that you can make the necessary changes. Your feminine is trying to help you balance out what happened, while your masculine is trying to help you bring what you want into this reality. We're going to move on. But that was lovely, because things get heavy. But realizing you don't have to hold the weight of what happened to you. any longer. You can proclaim it today and say, I release this. I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to hold on to this no more. I'm choosing different. I'm doing different. I'm being different. And that be it. And then you move forward and embody that energy, that new energy that you set for yourself. You may have drawbacks. You may have times where you may fall back into a pattern, but now you know how to handle it even better because you've been through it already. You've been through that cycle. You know how to get out of it. For our next card here, we're going to go over the spirit of air. It says, as the spirit of creativity embodies into the interconnected intelligence, the protective power of choice comes forth. Protective energies, consciously changing patterns, rewiring creativity, and being direct with oneself. This card is both the presence of guardian energies and the decision to adjust our own old guardians in order to find new creative results. Normally, at play in secret, the creative immune system becomes sparkly obvious the moment I attempt to create beyond my current patterns. Such attempts may trigger suffering, the opposite of my desires. Am I being clear to myself about what I prefer and willing to become the one that can receive it? This is beautiful because when you start manifesting stuff, I got a mosquito bite. So if you see me scratching, it's because of mosquito. When you start manifesting and you start wanting to do better for yourself, but all of a sudden you're seeing, why is things becoming so challenging? Like, what is all this resistance? It's meant to be there because it's giving you the opportunity to grow. No one ever said growth was going to be easy, but it's worth the effort. You are worth the effort. Of course, when you're not used to being a certain way, it's going to feel uncomfortable because you're not used to it. Your nervous system has to become regulated to the new you. So yeah, things are going to start getting crazy. It's going to start getting real crazy. But that's because it was needed. Things were needed to fall down in order for them to be picked right back up. That new foundation needs to be laid. When people break down houses, they be boom. They break it all the way down. No, they don't take it away piece by piece. No, they say boom. When them demolition sites and they be like, we need this land so that we can build a better community, they be like and they destroy that shit down. Because that's what happens when something new needs to be birthed. You're going to need new foundations. So also, this is a message because your guides are saying, how are you communicating to them your needs? Are you being clear and direct on what you need? Your guides are there to help you. But if you're not helping yourself, then it's going to get real confusing. It's going to get real confusing. It's going to get real confusing. So this is why, going back to what I was saying in the beginning, keeping track of yourself and keeping track of the things that you are letting go of is so important, because it's going to show you what you need to be communicating. Your guides that served you at one point, they were there. They resonated in an energy where they could help you to their full force in that energy. But once you start elevating and growing, there are going to be new guides that are going to help you get to your new path. But of course, things are going to be different. So you're going to need to be more secure in yourself, more transparent with yourself, more clear in yourself, so that those new guides can come in and be like, oh, I see exactly what you need. I understand exactly what you need because you have told me so clearly. And then the guides that helped you in the past, they'll still be there. But it's time for a new set of hands to help you get to where you need to be, because those guides were helping you get to where you were. And that was it. But now, when you're looking for that next level up, there's going to be different types of challenges. There's going to be new people, new hands on you, new support that are going to need that new version of you, because the old version of you is not going to be able to come with you in this new chapter. It's not going to be able to help you in the way that you need. So this is just being open and being honest with yourself about what you need. And if you don't know what you need, figure out what you don't need first. Start there. Figure out what you don't need. Do you need a lot? Do you need less? Like, ask yourself those questions. Ask yourself questions. Deeper self, asking yourself those questions of what is truly going to fulfill you and what is truly going to help propel you. This is taking those steps. It's going to take time and it's going to be challenging, like I've said before, but it's going to be so worth it, because on the other side of that tunnel is the clarity, is the illumination of what is and what is not. Our next card that we're going to go over. We're not going to go over this one because this one is clear in its message. It says, as the shadow consumes the celestial realms, borders and wars ensue. Weaponized boundaries, vicious relations, and the misunderstandings of difference. A card indicating that the lines have been drawn and an ultimatum to choose which side one is on has been made. This is always the result of confusion and dissociation. It is a call to arms to defend someone's sense of certainty. That scared me. That has been built upon divisiveness. When I find divisions in myself, they arise as righteous and noble. They speak of the wrongs that others are doing and how that makes them entirely unlike me. This passion is easy to fall unto and has a way of blinding me to what I know to be the common grounds upon which we build something. Hi, thanks. It says, which lines have I drawn within and without that are contributing to the divisiveness in my life, in myself? This is beautiful because this is showing how maybe because of those past mistakes and past mishaps and misjudgments, you've built this wall around yourself and what you contribute to what is good for you, what can be good for you and what could not be. Say you had a mishap, or going back to that friend, say you had a mishap and you're like, I could never be like them, or I would never do that. Well, at one point you resonated in that energy. You are a part of a collective consciousness, and just because someone or something is showing you a way in which you do not want to live does not mean that it's not valuable information, or that situation did not give you the necessary knowledge that you need to progress forward. You can recognize, it's like how everyone plays their part. In every story, there's always a protagonist and an antagonist. There would not be a protagonist without the antagonist. Let whatever it is play their part, and know that it is still a part of your story, and know that there is still a place for them in the story, in your life, because without that duality, then there would not be good and bad. There would not be, because there's a balance that is within those things, that is within those situations. They're there for a reason. And each party has their own reasons for why they do. So this is, yeah, your guard is important and your protection of self is important. But not every foe is an enemy, and not every friend is a friend. It's like kind of like that saying where it's like, keep your friends close but your enemies closer. It's kind of along those lines there, where it's like, yeah, this is an opposing force, but there would not be an opposing force if they did not recognize you, if they did not recognize the light within you. It's needed. You don't need to necessarily be up in everything's face that is opposing you, no, but giving it that grace and awareness that it's still a part of the story. And it still serves its purpose. The villains still serve their purpose. And sometimes the villains, their reasoning, excuse me, be making sense. Like, I don't know if y'all have ever seen My Hero Academia, but when I used to watch it, because I'm not caught up at all, but one thing I noticed was or I don't know if that was My Hero, but I think it was. One thing I noticed about the villain's story was because they were like, I need to protect this earth from the people that are constantly trying to dismantle it. They have their own reason of trying to protect themselves. Like, yeah, their intentions are probably very screwed and messed up, but their intentions are still their intentions, and they're still a force where they recognize their own power, and regardless of how they proceeded, they still chose to do what they did. They still chose to play a part in creating some type of reality. Yeah. And honestly, that is pretty much the message here. That was a big message, honestly. I didn't expect that to be so deep, but it ended up being a little heavy. For time's sake, because I do have to go, I really appreciate you guys being here. And for my last piece of message for you guys is be graceful with yourself. Be graceful with yourself. Be patient and learn from everything. Be a student to life, because everything is trying to teach you something. Even that bully at school. Even that bully at your workplace. Even that manager that wants to make your life hell. They're serving their purpose, so make sure that you're serving yours at the end of the day. Yeah. Again, I thank you guys for being here, and I will catch you guys next Sunday for our Spirit Tea messages. Bye!